You know, I heard this story recently about two priests in the kind of the tail end of the Dark Ages, and they were in, I think, Romania, maybe. And they're sitting out discussing one day the legends of vampires and stuff like that, and you know, very real vampire problem they had around the area at the time. And the younger priest says to the older one, you know, why doesn't somebody just go outside when it's raining and pray over the rain, you know, pray a blessing, you know, consecrate the rainwater so that it rains on all the vampires and kills them, you know, like holy water. It was a common belief in the church at the time that holy water would kill a vampire. And the older priest like, no, it's a pretty astute observation, you know, proud of the young man for thinking and, you know, thinking outside the box to help deal with the questions the locals may have about vampires, and you know, just the fears, help people kind of work their way through fears, like what is the church doing about this vampire problem? Because in times of struggle or strife, or in times of human history when things are really dire, you know, people have looked to the church, religions, Catholic Church, Protestantism, that kind of thing, for answers, for peace, for, you know, salvation, for encouragement and help and support. So a little bit of time goes on and they're still sitting there. And, you know, both priests had traveled a little bit across Europe, and they saw it as a pretty common problem, the belief in vampires, and the, you know, very real signs that there were actually some vampires causing problems in Europe. But they'd also traveled a little further than that. And they're saying to each other at one point, like, why don't you see any vampires in like, you know, the southern aspects, or the southern parts of the empire, because it's part of the British Empire. They were both of them were British. They were travelers, you know. So like, well, I heard that somebody already blessed the rains down in Africa. All right, that's a bad one. I decided to give MDT magazines another try here after the issues I'd had with the last set, that magazine not being able to release easily. You know, have to jam it in there. There we go. And so I decided to order some other ones. I ordered a 3-rounder from MDT. This is their little focus. Thank you. Their little 3-rounder for their AICS style magazines, Polymer. So I ordered that one, and then I ordered a 10-rounder with the metal. There we go. Metal feed lips. So we're gonna try those out. I'm on like this quest to test out all the AICS magazines I can get my hands on, because I actually intend to start running AICS chassis style systems on everything I have now. I've had some traditional stocks kicking around on some of my hunting rifles and stuff for a while, and I just kind of left them. But now that the Field Stock from MDT is available, and it's a more affordable option for my cheap rifles. I call them cheap rifles because they're not competition rifles. They're not, you know, they're not anything I want to spend a whole lot of money on. I don't want to put $800 or $1,200 chassis on every rifle I got, because who can afford that mess? So the MDT Field Stock being a good, inexpensive option, I think, along with things like the Magpul Hunter, it's, you know, a good idea to, you know, finish out my collection with, you know, getting an upgrade. It's a simple upgrade. It's a simple field upgrade for a standard rifle. So finding the magazines that work well, that are inexpensive, because, and this is context of use, because for like competitions, if I'm doing PRS, that kind of stuff, which I haven't done in years, that kind of style of shooting, but I intend to build a PRS gun and get back into it this year and actually start getting into the game, because I'm in a location I can do that now. But if I'm doing that kind of thing, or if it like it's heavy duty, like or hard duty, or, you know, there's no room for error, let's put it that way, then the metal magazines are definitely the way I'm going. Like, there's no question I'm going to go with metal magazines. But for the less expensive stuff, or just goofing off, or general long range, or training the kids on, you know, I think the Polymer is a good option because it's less expensive. You don't have to worry about losing it, that kind of stuff, as much. It's not going to be as big a pain in the wallet if you do lose it. So trying out all the polymers I can get my hands on because I'm gonna get this squirrel figured out. Which kind of brings me to the point of this video. I made a video about getting the Magpul AICS magazines. They do definitely drop free way easier from the chassis here, Field Stock specifically. But the problem I noticed with them is they feed nicely the first round, but then all subsequent rounds after that do that. They nosedive down into the magazine and hit the bottom of the feed ramp on the chamber. Now, that might just be a chamber issue. It's not a length issue because I've spec'd these all out for 2.8 inches. They're the same length as all my other reloads. And out of the other magazines, the MDT magazines, they all fed reliably without fail. Even the Polymer one, even though it's hard pain in the neck to get out, they fed reliably and I didn't have any hang-ups. But this Magpul magazine just seems to nosedive. After the first round, it seems to nosedive the middle 3 rounds. And then the last round will actually pop up. And what's happening is it's just being shoved forward gently, slightly like this, the subsequent rounds, and then that is causing that lip to catch the round and push them down like that so they won't feed reliably. It's an annoyance. I've tried to polish the spring in here, and I've tried some different magazine fixes for this, and it hasn't quite worked out. So back to the drawing board. The Magpul magazine I would still use, but I would not use it in competition. A hunting stand where you don't need to, worry too much about fast follow-up shots. If you're an ethical hunter, like make good follow-up shots, but you don't have to whip your bolt and do it. Then I wouldn't worry too much about it. You can just tap the round and it pops it up, and then you can feed it. It's not a huge deal, but it is an annoyance. So let's try this bad boy out. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, look at that. That's the 3-rounder. The 3-round MDT magazine, nice and flush. There you go. There's the solution I was talking about in the last video. If you need a flush fit, there you go. Boom, snackalacka. That is very nice. Yeah, that's a nice setup. Okay, might take a little. Oh, it falls right free. Look at that. Beautiful. Falls right out. Oh, that was nice. Okay, that's a win right there. MDT wins with the 3-rounder right there. Beauty. All right, good job. And metal feed ramps or feed lips on their 10-rounder. Let's see how we do. All right, that's nice. Everything's in there nice. Empty chamber. Let's see how we pop out here. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. Oh, look at that. Falls right out. Beautiful. Oh, I hope that's sturdy. Alright, so yeah, falls right out. That's good. I like to see that. Let's check some feeding. We'll practice on some feeding here, and I will do that off camera. And go outside and point this thing in the dirt, practice my feeding, and see how it goes. But there we go. Worked out a couple more magazines. Duty magazines. I'll make sure I didn't jostle this. The knife I'm working on is gluing up right now for epoxy setting. So worked out a couple of more magazines for the MDT that I think would be good pairing options for the MDT Field Stock. That 3-rounder worked beautifully. The latch release is perfect, drops free, so that was awesome. And the metal lipped Polymer, same thing. Locked in nice and smooth. I'm going to test them with reliability and actually running rounds and firing. I'll go to the range this weekend and test that out. I'm going to take all the magazines and I'm going to test them all with just working through a cycle on a long range and see how it goes. Thank you for joining me again for this completely random video about magazines. I promise it's the last one this month, maybe. We'll see.